Chille DeCastro abandons his First Amendment trademark claims. Did he give up his dreams of leading all of the auditors? Regan Benson fumes over being denied appointment to a Citizens Advisory Committee. Did she really expect to be able to judge the Denver police? Fraudit Wrangler turns tail and runs away from his troubles. Stolen valor, criminal acts, but it's not his fault, y'all. Plus, Long Island Audit loses a lawyer in his long-time lawsuit against New York City. Good evening, and welcome to the combined Auditing Insanity Newscast for Wednesday, February 5th and Thursday, February 6th, 2025. I'm AI Johnny Jones, and I'll be your host for a ton of news that's going to be news to me. We're in a mood tonight as we ask you to focus on
DeCastro abandons First Amendment trademarks. It was revealed by PDocs of the public documents of Jose DeCastro on Tuesday that Jose Chille DeCastro recently suffered another embarrassing self-inflicted loss as his attempts to trademark the terms First Amendment Auditor and 1st Amendment Auditor have both been declared dead. After being briefly jailed last year, DeCastro re-entered public life with the declaration that he would soon be rebranding himself as First Amendment Auditor and would be switching focus from producing anti-police videos to teaching everyone how to conduct First Amendment audits in his own unique style. DeCastro noted in his pivot that his entire approach to dealing with police had to change after being wrongfully convicted of interference in a traffic stop. Gone, he said, would be his negative attitude towards police and his confrontational attitude, to be replaced by fake friendliness, respect, and a feigned docile approach to police interactions. The YouTuber explained that now that police have body cams and that all auditors should be recording the police at all times, it was important to impress the judge who would ultimately hear the case after an arrest. He said that if the judge's first viewing of an auditor was to see them ranting and raving at police officers, rather than calmly and coolly owning them with kindness, it would reflect badly on the auditor and would more than likely result in a guilty verdict that would later be won on appeal. DeCastro also said he would be taking over the term and concept of First Amendment Auditor with his initial intention of uniting all of the auditors in the United States under his rule. This was a replacement for his independent journalist idea that he had previously floated, where all the auditors in the United States would report directly to him and, more importantly, pay dues directly to him in order to fund their future assignments on stories of his choosing. The trademarks would essentially surrender the term to him, allowing him to merchandise the concept of First Amendment Auditor in thousands of products to quench the demand of the public at large for t-shirts and mankinis with the words printed on them. It's unclear why DeCastro ultimately abandoned the trademark requests. When we last reported on the status, he was having trouble providing a residential address that was different from the studio he was currently living at. DeCastro also encountered significant negative feedback from YouTube personality Christopher Direct D. Ruff and others, who pledged to challenge DeCastro's application. Ruff went so far as to promise to produce his own merchandise using the First Amendment Auditor branding to directly challenge DeCastro's trademark request. It appears that DeCastro read the writing on the wall and backed down in this case. How this incident will reflect on his status as leader of the First Amendment community remains to be seen.
Fraudit Wrangler no-shows show cause hearing. Michael Fraudit Wrangler Kaiser made news again on Wednesday as he no-showed a show cause hearing in Etowah County, Alabama, and a nationwide warrant that was supposed to have been issued for his arrest had yet to appear on his record as of early Thursday morning. Kaiser was notified of the show cause hearing in December, shortly after various reports circulated that the hearing was called for Kaiser to explain why he had moved out of state. There was also some drama as his previous attorney, Samuel Bone, withdrew from the case around the same time. The case has bounced around a bit and was in the hands of David King, who would later withdraw, and is now in the hands of Public Defender Davis Bailey. Bailey was on hand for Wednesday's scheduled hearing. Kaiser's original charges stem from burglary, fraud, and theft charges from 2022, where Kaiser has previously all but admitted the crimes, stating he was in the throes of addiction when the incidents happened. The YouTuber is charged with the following: 2 charges of burglary in the 3rd degree, which are felonies and carry a sentence of 366 days in prison to 10 years in prison per charge. 1 charge of theft of property in the 3rd degree, again a felony carrying a minimum sentence of 366 days in prison, but not more than 5 years, along with a fine of up to $7,500. 1 felony charge of fraudulent use of a credit/debit card. This crime and carries a minimum of 366 days in prison with a maximum of 5 years as punishment. Finally, Kaiser faces 1 felony count of theft of property in the 3rd degree. The punishment for the crime is between 366 days in prison and 5 years, along with a $7,500 fine. Kaiser had pled not guilty to the charges in a hearing on February 8, 2023, and the case had sat dormant until December of last year when the show cause hearing was ordered. During that time, Kaiser rose to prominence on YouTube, posing as a war hero and claiming various military accomplishments that were later exposed as acts of stolen valor. Strangely, even when his criminal past and stolen valor were exposed, Kaiser's channel remained extremely popular, pulling in nearly 10,000 subscribers over the past 2 years. Instead of the charges and endless criticism and rest streams and stream snipes killing his channel was growing exponentially faster than most of his critics up until his recent troubles with the law. He's lost approximately 40 subscribers in the past month, with a downward trend on both Playboard and Social Blade since the show cause hearing was announced. Kaiser was originally held on a $9,500 bond back in March of 2022. Kaiser's files have not been updated to reflect a possible bond revocation or a warrant as of Thursday afternoon, while one outlet is reporting a bond forfeiture order has been issued with a writ of arrest to be issued, though this has not been independently verified. While Kaiser has been active on his Wrangler's Roughnecks YouTube channel, posting a new video Thursday afternoon, he has not addressed the pending warrant or bond revocation. Long Island Audit loses lawyer in NYC lawsuit. For those following the crowdsourcing market over the last couple of days, we've got good news and we've got bad news. The market came alive on Tuesday, only to fall asleep on Wednesday again, letting the geese lay their eggs all over the market again. Tuesday was indeed promising, with a whopping $115 taken and over 2 funds to take the day. Sean Paul, Long Island Audit's Reyes support the fight against tyranny and corruption, bringing in $75 to beat out Craig Hendry's to support Craig's work campaign's $40 to take the day. Things were incredible, back to old form, and then Wednesday hit and the market died again. This seems to be the new normal for the winter. While Reyes put out a series of new videos, there was no new real outrage to promote. Things are too cold and crappy weather-wise to get out there and promote some new lawsuit or idea. Reyes did have a setback in his lawsuit against the city of New York on Wednesday as his lead attorney in the case. Norma Esquivel of the Latino Justice Pro-Def organization removed herself as his lead attorney as she's resigned from the organization. This comes at the same time the judge in the case granted both sides the ability to move forward on some discovery, as key parts of the case remain undecided in the appeals process. For those who have lost touch, this is the same lawsuit over Reyes' claims that all citizens have the right to record within police precincts in New York State due to the right to record laws passed after the death of George Floyd. He still alleges that there was no provision in the law allowing police to stop recording, and currently Reyes is the only person in the city and state of New York with the ability to record in said precincts due to ruling by the court. It's unclear how Esquivel's resignation will directly impact the ruling by Judge Jessica G.L. Clark on Wednesday to move the case forward by granting both sides ability to conduct limited paper discovery of the underlying incident and to handle the plaintiff's second set of interrogatories and requests. Clark ordered the parties to submit a revised case management plan by April 11, 2025. No replacement has been named for Esquivel by the Latino Justice Pro-Def organization at this time. As far as Hendry, there's been no new updates since we last reported on him. Last week, Chille DeCastro floated the idea that Hendry was being mistreated while in jail, serving out his felony stalking and misdemeanor harassment charges. It's been over a month since Hendry has used the jail's phone system to address his fans, and both of his YouTube channels are on life support as his assistant regurgitates old content and hairstyles presented as new audits as they cycle through old content. We'll provide updates on both YouTubers as we receive them.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
Regan Benson rages after advisory board meeting. Regan Benson's visit to the Denver Police Department's District 3 Commander Advisory Board meeting ended in controversy as she confronted Commander Joel Bell about her denial of a recommendation of a position on the use of force board run by the Office of the Independent Monitor. Benson accused Bell of interfering in her nomination, as she had petitioned Commander Hans Levens for consideration into the pool of people to be considered for the opening on the board. While Levens had already apparently made up his mind about Benson's application before being approached by Bell. The YouTuber has a long history of suing the Denver Metro Police Department for allegedly violating her First Amendment rights. She again accused Bell of First Amendment retaliation by blocking her appointment to the committee. Benson famously negotiated $130,000 in a settlement with the city of Denver last year, as she was essentially given go-away money to settle two ongoing suits alleging wrongdoing by the Denver police force. Since Benson needed to be nominated to be in the pool for the open slot by Levens, it was a long shot at best for her to be nominated, let alone being appointed to the panel. Benson already had filed a complaint against Bell with the Office of the Independent Monitor before she confronted the officer. All 5 members of the Use of Force Board are appointed by Denver's Chief of Police, Ron Thomas. Bell alleged that Thomas had already ruled out Benson for a position on the board before her encounters with either Bell or Levens. The application for the board is a rare pivot for Benson, who has been at odds with the city of Denver and surrounding communities for years. She has often embraced her fundamental beliefs that there is no need for government, so her decision to embrace a role, and even a tangentially associated with government, was a surprise to everyone. In more Benson news, she chose to avoid the bi-weekly meeting of the Englewood City Council on Monday, apparently due to an overabundance of speakers scheduled for the public speaking portion of the meeting. At issue this week was the discussion of a planned high-rise apartment building in downtown Englewood. Speakers supporting both sides of the issue were scheduled to fill the majority of the time allowed for public addresses. And since Benson had previously made a statement at the last meeting, and the fact that she could not be guaranteed a speaking role may have played a role in her decision to skip the meeting. We will continue to update her complaints to the Office of the Independent Monitor as she provides them. And we're back. Tonight was a tough one as we're a bit creeped out by one of the stories. To the person on the run, you've already committed stolen valor. You've already lied about your circumstances. You've already skipped a hearing to get to the bottom of why you're disobeying the court's rules. It's in your best interest to stop pretending, man up, and do what you claim you always do, and make the hard choice to turn yourself in. If you're not guilty of the crimes, you've got nothing to hide. If you're guilty, buck up, do your time, and show people that you're the man you say you are. There's really no other option here for the all-American character you play on YouTube. You're not Jesse James. You're not Butch Cassidy. You're not even a Texan. You're a man in over your head, and you need to bring yourself to justice and do what your supposed hero personality would have done. There really aren't any options for you right now. Buck up, be a man, and do the right thing. That's all we have to say for the night. Hopefully, the world will be a bit happier tomorrow. Good night, everyone.